Hey everybody, it's your leader into the marketplace of truth, your dedicated tour guide. My name is David. I am your host. I don't know, I'll never get used to that. But nonetheless, today's truth is on this. Just a short video about one of the biggest issues that threatens our country today. Is one that we find all the way back in the book of Genesis, chapter 3. If you remember correctly, God had told Adam and Eve not to eat of the fruit of the tree. And it's not long after that that Adam and Eve both eat of the fruit. And at that time, God begins to judge them and essentially tell them, because you've done this, this, and this are going to happen to you. And what I want to focus on is this quick idea here. It's not my fault, it's your fault. And one of the biggest issues that plagues this country nowadays is what we would call victimhood, or blaming somebody else for how we turned out. Okay? And this is a huge issue because there's no accountability anymore. Look, when a politician messes up, he blames the other side. When a doctor messes up, he says, well, no, it wasn't me, it was the person that was helping me. When a lawyer messes up, well, no, I didn't have a case in the first place. And, you know, as a parent, something I always deal with is when I ask my kids, did you break such and such? And they're like, no. Or my favorite example is when they get into the powdered donuts and they have the white powder over their face, and I ask them, did you steal the donuts? No. And I'm like, it's on your face. I know you. I know you did. The evidence is there. But something that's really lacking in today's culture is accountability. Look, if you make a mistake, own up to it. Be truthful. Be honest. If I can help you in any way, I'm going to help you right here. Tell the truth. Okay, I'm so sick of all these people faking different stories and becoming the victim, and people feel sorry for them, and then they find out that none of it happened, and we're still supposed to feel sorry for them? No. Guys, honestly, this is ridiculous. Act like adults. Look, all the way back in Genesis chapter 3, you know what happens when God asked Adam, did you eat of the fruit? Oh, no, it wasn't me. No, it was her. And he blames his wife. And God goes down to Eve, and Eve, what did you do? No, it wasn't me. It couldn't be me. I'm not pretty little Eve. It wasn't me. It was the serpent. It couldn't possibly have been me. As she blames the serpent, God declares judgment on the serpent because the serpent was the devil that had deceived Eve and deceived Adam indirectly. And then he comes back to the woman and essentially tells her, because you have done this, there's going to be sorrow in childbearing. You ever wonder why it hurts to have babies? That is why. You ever wonder why God set it up with the man over the house and then the woman up underneath him? And you might not like that. And honestly, I don't too much care, because the truth is still the truth. You want me to be truthful? You want this to be the marketplace of truth? I've got to have nothing but truth in it. And I'm going to tell it to you 100%. The reason why you are in subjection to your husband is because of Genesis chapter 3. That was one of the declarations, one of the judgments God placed on Eve. Sorrow and sorrow bearing, and that she would be under the rule of her husband. You may not like that, and again, I don't care, because quite honestly, you're probably the same person that treats her husband horribly, and how you ever got married, I'll never know. But honestly, you really need to stop, and you need to respect the headship of the husband over the home. You say, well, you're such a horrible person, you're a chauvinist, or some other fancy word that's just stupid and silly, thrown at people by educated people. Guys, I'm not chauvinist. I believe the Bible. The Bible says God put man, he put Adam over the house, and Eve was in subjection to him. Don't get mad at me. I'm the guy that's telling you the truth. The truth hurts. The truth stings. But it's 100% truth. Guys, don't you get tired of people lying to you? I mean, you got to listen to politicians lie. You got to listen to lawyers lie. You got to listen to All kinds of people lie every single day. Well, why didn't you do your work? Well, because of this, and this. They're lying. Well, you ask your kids, why did you do this? And they lie to you. Look, we put up with too much lying, and quite honestly, what the world is looking for is somebody that's going to stand up and tell the truth. And I'm going to tell you 100%. When God set it up, He set it up male and female. Not 26 genders, not 426 genders. There were two, male and female. You say, well, how do you know the difference? It's pretty obvious. Your doctor was smart enough at birth. Now, I know some doctors are going crazy now, and they're not really sure, but quite honestly, it's pretty obvious. If you have certain things, you're a male. If you have certain other things, you're a female, okay? There's no confusion. The only confusion that's come about is these crazy people that want to be the opposite. And look, it don't matter if you have the surgeries. It doesn't matter. You're still male. You might be a deformed, messed up, castrated male, but you're still a male. Same thing goes for ladies. Guys, just be happy with who you are. God created you the way He wanted you created. He pieced you together in that womb. He gave you the arms and the legs and the fingers and the toes and the two eyes. He created you exactly how He wanted to create you. And don't get mad at God. Why? Because God created you for His pleasure. He created you special. You realize there's not anybody else like you? Even you say, well, what about twins? Even twins have distinct personalities. God created you different than anybody else. Not in a weird way. Not to be made fun of. But as He saw fit to please Him. Guys, the truth is there's only male and there's only female. You can't switch. That's God's design. And originally, you know how else He designed it? He designed it for a man and a woman to be married. A man and a woman. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. A man and a woman. Adam and Eve, the first man and wife. That's how God set it up. Man would be in charge of the household. Woman would be second. Why? Because that's how God set it up. Guys, this world needs the truth. This is what I'm doing these videos for. I'm not making money off these. I'm trying to help. And there's too much confusion, too many people just making it worse. I'm going to give it to you truthful, 100%, as the Bible has laid it out. And I'm not going to lie to you. There's too many people making money off lying to you. There's too many people making a living lying to you. There's too many people that have multiple houses and can say whatever they want because they got tons of money, but they're lying to you. Guys, I don't live like a king, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I may not be perfect, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I may not like everything that the Bible says because it might hit me, but I'm going to give you the truth. 100% every single time. And what happened over time was the morality of this country started to fall apart. People stopped going to church. They stopped having that religious fervor, that religious background that kept them moral and kept them what we would call religious. And they started to lose that morality over time. And as they lost that morality, they became more and more depraved. We kicked God out of schools. We kicked God out of colleges. We kicked the Bible. We kicked prayer out. We say there's no place for that stuff in public life. And now you got a bunch of people that never grow up. They still act like little babies, little toddlers when they're adults because they never learned how to be men and how to be women. They had a bad upbringing or something like that. And they're just persecuted now. Everything's about them. Well, if it doesn't make me feel good, then it can't possibly be right. Look, let me burst your bubble. It's not all about you. Grow up. You say, well, my mommy and daddy treat me. I don't care. If they treat you like that and they baby you, then they're not very good parents. I'm going to tell you exactly how it's supposed to be. Your little boy ought to grow up to be a man. Not weak. Not effeminate, a strong, testosterone-driven man. that can defend his wife, that can defend his family when the time comes. And women, you ought to be beautiful and loving and kind and sweet and supportive. Why? Because that's how God created you. And there's too much role switching. Guys trying to be like, act more like women and women acting more like men. God, it's not attractive. Just be a lady. You say, well, that's chauvinist. I don't care what you call it. I really don't. Because I'm going to give you the truth, whether you like it or not. That is how it was set up to be. And quite honestly, this country you wouldn't have those weird freedoms of yours if there weren't men willing to fight and die and give their lives for your freedom. Okay, let's just clarify that. Let's give credit where credit is due. Them guys in World War II, those guys in Vietnam, they were men's men that fought for this country, fought for the flag. I don't care what you think of the flag. You best not disrespect it in my presence, because I love that flag, and I know my parents served in the military for that flag. I've had grandparents. I've had other uncles that have served for that flag, and they raised me right to respect that flag. I don't care what you think it is. Read up on your history, because no other country has the freedoms that we have. You best be thankful for the freedoms that you have, because it might not be too much longer till you lose them. And all those choices you think you can make, that freedom's going to be gone. No, it's time for the men to be men again. It's time for the women to be women again. It's time for man and wife to start having families again. Guys, do you realize this country, there's more dying than are being born? It's not sustainable. The whole purpose of marriage was to propagate. And if we're not doing that, we're going to die off. Men with men cannot have babies. Women with women cannot have babies. If you don't have a man and a woman, then you don't have the babies. If you don't have the babies, then this country dies. It's as simple as that. You don't have to have the scientist's opinion on that. You don't have the doctor's opinion on that. That's common sense, 100%. The country's going to die. And that's why God set it up that way, because that's the only way that it works. Stop blaming everybody else. You say, well, I don't like where I'm at in life. Then go work for it. Well, I'm not given certain freedoms. That's the biggest lie. I can't stand people saying, well, I don't have the same opportunities that you have. Yes, you do. What do you think I just all of a sudden became what I was? Guys, I started working when I was 17. I was still in high school when I was working. I didn't get a free ride. I had to work my butt off. You know how I got a good job? I did well in school. I practically had a 4.0. I had like a 3.89 or something like that. Guys, I had a good education. Why did I have a good education? Because I paid attention in class. I put myself into it. I didn't just sleep during class. I didn't disrespect the teachers. I knew they had some wisdom that I needed to learn, and I learned it. Bear with me. I'm going to take a break, and we'll be back for part 2. Hold in there.